everyone. Welcome to 3D Maker Salon. And this is Spring. Today is the Teach 3D Maker Salon episode 24. And our topic today is something about 3D printing art project. And we have a special guest with us, Jerry. Hello, Jerry.
Hello, how you doing, everyone?
How is your time there? What's the time there in your site?
What's that? I couldn't understand you.
Oh, can you hear me? What's the time in your site?
It's breaking up, but I know that we're live, yes.
Okay. So just a brief introduction about 3D Maker Salon is that we have this live streaming to have more 3D printing enthusiasts and hobbyists to join on live and to discuss about the 3D printing related topics and also share ideas and also talk about the latest like updates, upgrading, and also some of the information that you wanted to know, and you can discuss with us online as well. Yeah, so it's really something if you are interested about joining us in live, you can contact me directly or text us through the 3D Printer official Facebook page. Hello guys, can you hear me clearly?
Hello, Matt. How you doing? Hello, Non-Pam.
Hello, Jerry.
Yes.
Oh, I'm just trying to waiting to you and also our audiences and everybody hear each other clearly.
Yes, well, man. As far as for the Marlin firmware, I modify firmware, but I'm not a developer. So the team over at Marlin would have to work on that. And there's different people in the U.S. that are also working on that. But that isn't something I do.
Okay. Hello to our newcomers and also old friends from all over the world.
Yeah, the man in the live stream, La Sangrier Quit Rit, which I can't pronounce. He has that emblem there on the screen. His name is Matt Nicholas. He lives in Nevada here in the United States. He's also building the Ecto1 Ghostbuster car like I am at 250%. He's quite a bit further along than I am, but I'm going to catch up to him here in a few weeks. Yes, that's better that we can have a full screen.
Oh, better with full screen?
Yes, like this is better. Yes. It looks better the other way. It's wider.
Okay. So hope it's better now. We have some new friends here saying hi to us.
Yeah, there's a few things going on right now in the U.S. There's another big YouTuber that's streaming right now that's going to be giving away resin printers that has a lot of people watching. And then they have a debate thing going on with a couple people. So that's going to take away a lot of views. But there'll be people that will watch this later today, tomorrow, next week. So many people can watch this after the fact.
Okay, so welcome Jerry to be our live streaming. And something about Jerry, maybe you want to know, let's invite him to introduce him a little bit more about his background and thinking. Hello, Jerry. Introduce a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Well, I've been into 3D printing for 3.5 to 4 years now. I'm retired from construction here in Las Vegas. I worked on the casinos. I drove water trucks, forklifts, flat saws, cut concrete. I've done lots of physical labor type stuff. And I've always been interested in 3D printing, but back in the day, they were too expensive for anything that I wanted to do. And then around 4 years ago, I was watching a few videos and I stumbled across a couple that was in a motorhome moving across the country and they had a little 3D printer. And then I started looking online, watching videos, and it was, that was it from there. When I was a kid, you would buy model kits. Everybody bought model kits and you put them together and you got some really cool things, but you're limited to what the store has to sell. But with 3D printing, everything is out there. And if you can't find it, you can design it yourself and you can print it. You can prototype parts. Anything you can imagine, you can do with 3D printing. So I got carried away. I bought one printer and then I bought another printer. And then I said, I'm not going to buy no more. And now I have 11 printers and then I have one resin printer. So, you keep finding things to do and more things to buy, or they come out with something neat. And, I love the hobby. It's just awesome. And I have a YouTube channel, a Facebook group. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, trying to help everybody out whenever I can with problems. We all learn from each other. No one is an expert. Everybody's always learning something new. And anyway, if that kind of answers your question. Go ahead, Spring.
Yeah. From my side is I think that maybe the internet is having a little bit delay here to hear clearly from that. Thank you very much for your introduction, and also if you guys are new to 3D Maker Salon, welcome to join us for more discussion, and we will talk more about today's project that Jerry has made in 3D printing. And Jerry, can you tell us a little bit about how long have you been 3D printing, and also since today you are normally, I know you have live streaming in your own YouTube channel as well, and today you are invited as a guest. How do you feel today?
Yeah, it's a little bit reversed. I also use StreamYard, like you say, and I live stream every week. And then on Friday or Sunday, I usually have a hangout, like what I call a hangout, where I invite anybody from the 3D printing community to join in like we're doing now. And I can have up to 10 people at a time on screen. We talk about 3D printing or hobby things. And now I'm a guest on your live stream where you're controlling the show. So it's a little different because I'm usually in your position. And anyone that's watching on Facebook, above the video, there's a URL. If you click on that URL, we'll be able to see your name when you're in chat. And the people on YouTube can't see the Facebook users' comments unless Spring posts them on the screen. And then the people on YouTube can see what the people on Facebook are saying.
I will share the link.
What's that?
Just to make sure everybody knows how to make sure the name can be in the comments.
They'll type it in the comments. But yeah, on YouTube, I'm 3D printing and painting, 3DHP. 3DHP stands for 3D Hobby Projects, or 3D Hobby Printing, whichever way you want to call it. And then I have a Facebook group. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. And then I have a page called 3dhp.net also, where you can find a lot of my work. I'm still working on that. It's kind of a working project. I don't have all my current prints put up on 3dhp.net, but I'm working on it. And like I said, I've been printing for almost 4 years now. I've got hundreds of models. I primarily print statues. And a lot of people think that they're worthless prints, but I love statues. I love different kinds of models. And I typically print them at 150 to 200% scale.
May I ask how many prints are you painting so far?
How many prints have you printed so far? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably about 300 to 400. A lot. I have some pictures that I sent you. If you want to pull one up of my hobby room, I have hundreds of prints that I printed. I have stuff in the spare room. I've given a few things away. I've printed things for my son. At Christmas time, I print things. If I was to stop printing today, I have enough things to paint that I could probably spend the next 10 years just painting models that I finished that I haven't painted yet. And it's awesome. Hey, Andrew S., how's it going?
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew was on my live stream a few weeks ago, and so was Sangrier Quit Rip.
No. Okay, that's right.
So yes, they're friends of mine.
And also hello to new friends.
Yes, I have lots and lots of YouTube and Facebook friends. In real life, I don't have any friends other, my wife. I mean, she's my friend, my animals. I don't go out much. All my friends are online. So there's always somebody live streaming. We hang out with each other and chat and talk about different projects and things all the time.
Okay. So for anyone who is new here, this is Jerry's YouTube channel as well. If you are interested to know, you can check it out.
Yeah, that was from the beginning. I typed that because you weren't in yet, and I didn't know what happened to your internet.
Yeah. Can you show us some of your friends?
Yes, I can grab them off the shelf, or you can show some pictures.
Yeah,
Well, the one thing that everybody wanted to see, that the reason we're here is about the Ghostbuster car. So if you want to put me full screen, here's where I'm at right now in the Ghostbuster car.
I'll give a solo layout.
There you go. Yeah, this is half of the Ghostbuster car that I've been printing on my Hypercube for, I don't know, about a week now. And the orientation on my Hypercube was like this. And I didn't want ringing and spiraling from the nozzle on the grill or on the front end. So I went into NetFab and I cut off the front end of NetFab. And then I printed this, the grill and this orientation on my printer, flat. Then the rest of it I printed in this orientation on the Hypercube, trying to save on support material for this area. Unfortunately, I had a ton of support material in here, and I probably wasted 3/4 of a roll of filament just in supports. But this took quite some time to print, and I've got the other half on right now printing on my Hypercube, which you can kind of see in the corner there, and that's like a 7-day print. And I'm printing at 0.20 layer height. My layers I slice with simplified 3D. They're 644 layers with 10% infill. Yes, just in 3D, it's going to be huge. There's, like I say, there's another man in chat, Matthew. The comment where it says looking good, if you could pull up that comment where it says looking good, that's the man's name. His name is Matthew Nicholas, and he's doing this at 350% also. He started a few weeks. Yes, that man there has a great little YouTube channel that he's growing. He does all kinds of custom work. He's a really awesome guy. He lives here in Nevada in the U.S. also. And, I seen what he was doing. Since I typically print things big, it's like, I've got to have that. And it's going to have lights and sirens. It's just going to be really awesome. The hood opens, the doors open, everything. So.
Okay, so Andrew also print the car project as well.
Andrew S. was on my live stream a few weeks ago. He does all kinds of everything. I don't think he's printing the car, but he does a lot of really neat stuff. I believe he's from Scotland.
Well, that's always great to get some inspiration from other live streamer and also 3D printing artists to get new ideas. I think Jerry, from your side, can you share some of your prints that you have done?
Sure, if you could show some photos.
I mean, from your computer, because in my side there's some problem with the.
Okay, just a second.
Yeah, I cannot open it from my side. So can you share it on your side?
Let me take a look.
Yeah.
Okay, you can share that one.
Yeah.
Okay, here is part of my hobby room. This is behind where I'm sitting, where I have a lot of tools and spare parts. And then, of course, there's a doggy door for my two buddies. And you can see one of my monitors in the picture there. And here's everything I printed for the Ecto1, the Ghostbuster car in clear resin. I cured everything for around 3 minutes. Once they were cured for around 3 minutes, I took them outside and I sprayed them with a clear coat, hoping that they wouldn't yellow. And if you look at the two light bars up there, that I cut them right here in NetFab because they were too tall for my Elegoo Mars resin printer. So those are going to be really nice. That way I can have LED lights or some sort on the Ghostbuster car that will light up and change colors. Then here's a bunch of parts I printed in a Getek white filament. There's part of the ladder that you'll see, and a lot of the different doohickeys that go in the back seat and in the back of the car. What exactly those are at the moment, I don't know, but they're just different storage containers or whatever electronic gizmos they have in the Ghostbuster car. And then here's a close-up of the ladder I printed in white Getek white filament. They came out really nice. Well, I laid this down on its side in orientation, and then I had supports in between each one of the runs. And like I say, it came out really nice. The filament is very durable and strong. It's not, how can I say it? It's not brittle at all. I had no clogs, no issues with it whatsoever. And there's the back seat, the Ghostbuster car. Came out really nice. I printed that on end on one of my smaller printers. And there's another angle of it. You know, the quality of the filament, I have no issue. It's no problems at all. And there's a couple of the back seats. A couple more of the back seats. And I guess that other one was the front seat.
Are these all completely CIA?
There's some different angles of the doors. I still got to post-process everything. Oh, and there's a turtle. A while back, I tried out some Getek blue and red film, and I've tried out red, white, and blue so far. Go USA, red, white, and blue. Anyway, that's a little turtle that I got up of Cults 3D. You can actually put that in a bathtub or in water and move its body back and forth, and it kind of moves its arms. It's pretty cool. I made that for my wife. Came out very nice. So there's another picture of one of the doors, front doors. I got to do a little sanding on it, a little cleanup on it. And there's another angle of the door. And there's the hood. I was having trouble with one of my big printers with a stepper motor, so I have a few layered lines here and there I have to sand out of that. But One-Eyed Monster, there's his handle over on a Cults 3D that made the car. Yeah, I believe it sells for around a little under $10. It's an awesome price. And it's got a PDF file, explains how to design or how to print everything, how to hook up electronics, comes with an audio file, stickers that you can print out. It's just so much information for $10. It's nuts over on Cults 3D. And there's the tires that I resin printed. I had them hollowed out, and they came out really super nice. And if you look at the tires, they're slightly deformed along the bottom. That's because there would typically be weight on the vehicle, and the tires wouldn't be perfectly round. But then he does include other tires which are perfectly round if you don't want the flat spots in them. So came out really nice. And possibly in the near future, he might be including tires where you can add bearings to them if you want the tires to roll. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be happening soon. And then there's another picture of one of the back doors. So, alrighty, you can stop sharing the screen for a little bit, and we'll come back to pictures. That was loud. I have to kind of look through my pictures here to see what I got. Spring, if you want to stop sharing my screen, that'd be great. Oops, you took yourself out. Yeah, and well, she'll be back in a minute, guys. Anyway, let's see what we got here. And there's there's her packs. Those came out really nice. Those are all resin printed on my Elegoo Mars. Came out really good. And of course, I hollowed those out. I have a weak hole in the bottom and the top. And then when I go to fill the weep hole, one thing that's good you can do on Resin Printing Halloween is if you take a little bit of resin, you can use a Q-tip or you can use a little plastic eyedropper. You can buy them bulk packs off Amazon really cheap. Just put a drop of resin on the top and on the bottom and take a UV flashlight and shine on it, and it will cure that resin in a matter of seconds. And if it still has a divot in it, put another drop on it and cure it with a UV light again. And then once that's done, then you can just sand it down and you're good to go and you'll never see the hole. I always make sure they're completely dried out. I rinse all my prints in mean green, and then from there they go to an alcohol wash. Once they're out of the alcohol wash, I let them completely dry, or I rinse them in water sometimes, let them completely dry before I cure them for 7 to 8 minutes in my UV curing station. My UV curing station basically looks like a trash can with a little turntable I got off of eBay that the UV light turns it, and I set my prints in it, and I have a UV light strip that's coiled inside of it. And then I go over to my microwave in the kitchen, and I just hit the timer for, however many minutes. And then when earlier when I showed you all the clear stuff, when I cured all that, I cured it for no longer than 3 minutes per side. I don't want to over cure it and turn it yellow. And it may still happen, but I put a clear coat on it, and hopefully it won't yellow. So anyway. Yeah, down below, I'm not sure where my pictures stop at. So, and there's a close-up of Ecto1. That's resin printing. The quality of resin printing is amazing. You could print something like that on FDM at 0.08 or 0.10. There it goes. And I'm full screen. Just checking and see how far my pictures go. All right, let me jump back into another picture here. Let's see. Here we go. And here's a bunch of parts. As you can see, as you know, all cars only have 2 license plates. The one there on the right, it sagged for some reason when I printed it, so I printed another one. And then I've got a rear view mirror and what else? An antenna for the car. I think a heater control, and then some doohickeys that go on the roof, and then a steering wheel. And there's a mask I did a while back. I forget what that's called. I got that off of, I think it was Cults or My Mini Factory. And that's printed in a blue PLA. And it does have a lot of stringing around the eyes. I had my temperature, I think, a little bit too high on that. But that came out really nice. And there's a couple chest pieces. They look like pawns that you would have in there's another streamer. I can't think of his name that done some tacks like that. I think it was BB3D, Brian Vines. And I have one right here. I'm going to put little rare earth magnets in the bottom with some putty. And then my wife can hold things onto the refrigerator, put papers or whatever on to hold them on the refrigerator. Those came out really good. And that is a buck. That is a mold. So when I go to do the windshields, I printed this in ABS on one of my printers. And I'm building a vacuum forming table, which basically you put that device on the vacuum forming table. You put a sheet of clear PETG over it after you heat it up in an oven or some kind of a device that heats it, causes it to sag 2 or 3 inches. You put it down over that mold really quick, hit the switch, and it sucks all the air out of it. And then it takes the form. But because there is spiraling in the top of that, I'm going to have to sand out all that spiraling. Otherwise, I'm going to have a problem with my windshield once I heat up that plastic having that spiral mode in it. So I'll have to, clean that buck up really good before I try to do that. And I'm out in the garage building that right now. And I've got some PETG off Amazon coming in the mail today to experiment with that. And then here's another angle of the car. Like I say, I've just removed supports in the picture, no post-processing or sanding done to it yet. I'm going to have to do is sand everything down, do a little putty work here and there, get rid of the seam right here and sand it completely away. And there's another angle. There's the front end of the car. The car was started out in a different brand filament, and then I had ran out of that right away. And that's when I contacted Geetech, and they sponsored me with quite a bit of filament for the project. Trying to help me out which has helped me out a great deal. And there's a door just kind of sitting in place. But as you can see, there's a little stringing, and I have a lot of sanding and cleanup that I have to do on them. Hello, Marcel. How you doing? And that's a print I did a while back with some red Geetech PLA. Yes, there is some stringing on it. That's a close-up. The camera catches everything. As you know, when you take pictures, the camera catches everything. But I believe that's Albert Einstein. And there's a little Benchy done in red. And a Santa Claus. I left the supports on him. And there's an engine compartment that I started for the Ecto1. I'm doing it 250% on one of my printers. I can't lay it down flat. It won't fit. So I tipped it up. Now, if I could lay it flat, I wouldn't want to because I don't want, like I say, ringing. When a print finishes, it starts spiraling in the middle. I don't want ringing on that. So I would want it at an angle anyway. And that's getting real close to being done. Well, let me look. Nope, it'll be done probably tomorrow night. And the roof rack, which is on a different printer, will be done here in just a little bit. Maybe before we're finished here, I can pull it off the printer and show it to you. And there's a bunch of bucks there that I'm currently printing. I had a problem this morning. I used some nanopolymer adhesive. I had a sample, and I've never tried it before, and I put it down on my mirror. And the one buck that you've seen, which is right here and fairly large, I used glue stick on this, and it worked fine. But then I went and cleaned my mirror off, and I figured, well, I want to try the nanopolymer. Well, that stuff, let me tell you, it holds. I had my first layer too close, and then when I woke up this morning, I couldn't get my prints on. The ABS didn't release on the mirror. I had too much squish on the nanopolymer, and I couldn't release it. I wound up breaking my glass, and then the other two parts, I broke them, the bucks. But most of the buck is there. I can probably still use them for forming. So I went to the glass shop earlier, and I bought me another piece of glass for $9. When I buy mirror, I usually don't buy the thin stuff from Lowe's or Home Depot. Both of my bigger printers that are 300 by 300 build volume, I have like a 1/4-inch mirror on it, and then I have them just bevel the edges so they're not rough. And then I use different types of adhesives on mirrors, at least in my Hypercube. The rest of my printers have build mats or they have flex plates on them. And there is a picture there where you can see where I removed it. And it's like, oh no, I use my build tack spatula, which is paper thin. It will get under anything. And it got under it all right, but the glass came off with it. So then I heated my bed up to 80C, and then the other two wouldn't remove. So I just kind of gave up. And there's what it looked like when I took some of the glass off. So if you're ever working on mirror glass and you're seeing this in the bottom of your print, yep, that's glass. You broke it. And there's the nanopolymer that I was using. That has got a sample a while back. And there's when I removed the other two. Oh, no. But, yeah, it happens, you know. A lot of people say, oh, my God, you print so good, or this looks good, or that looks good. No, things go wrong all the time like everybody else. You know, just because I've been printing a long time and I have a lot of goodies to look at, I'm just like everybody else out in the community. You know, I have mistakes just like everybody else. You know, some days everything prints fine, or some weeks, or maybe even a month at a time, people might go with nothing happening, and then all of a sudden it snowballs. This goes wrong, that goes wrong, and people start having constant problems. What printer you running, Hammer? Hammer. That's a bummer. And let's see. Spring, are you there? Anyway, and the best way to remove prints for me is a build tack spatula. I know I'm not on full screen. I think Spring might have lost internet, but we'll keep going. Anyway, a build tack spatula. I love these things. They're paper thin. You can get up underneath anything. And as long as you hold your build plate stiff and you don't allow it to move, you can get right underneath your print on a build mat, whatever type it may be. But a lot of the newer stuff coming out lately, they released. You know, once they get down to like 42C, a lot of prints will just pop off the build mat. Hello on Facebook. Facebook user, if you click on the URL on Facebook, I'll be able to see your name, but I can't see who you are at the moment. And my host might have lost her internet, so I'll just keep jabbering away and she'll pop back in a minute. So you're almost afraid to run your last one. Oh, you have taken glass chunks out, Andrew. Yeah, that's my first time. You know, like I said, I done the one buck with glue stick, and I had a ton of glue stick build up on the bed, and I needed to go to the sink and wash it off. When I did, it's like, you know what? I got that nanopolymer like a year ago. Let me try that out. And I was on Joel's stream one time. He's talking about it to get a hold of them to send you a sample, and they did. And I finally tried it, and yeah, it paints on like glass, and it dries. It's like a perfect mirror finish. And, you know, like I said, that happened. I contacted the company, and I thought I was probably too close. And they said, yes, you probably had your first layer squished too much. That's why it didn't release. So I got to experiment. So, but yeah. So once I went and bought the other mirror, drove across town, I came back, and I put glue stick back on. I will go back to the nanopolymer, but I want to get all these bucks printed because there's like 8 or 9 of them. So let me see how many windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10 windows on Ghostbusters. It's like a 1956 Cadillac, the replica, the car, the model. What else can we talk about? Oh, flex sheet. And a lot of people, if you've never tried a flex sheet, I recommend highly getting one. This one has PEI on one side and a textured build sheet on the other. And what's cool about these, when the print gets done, there'll be a little bit of adhesion when you go to take off the magnet from where the print is sticking. But you can just take this off. Boom, you pop off the print that easy. You can put it back on. I typically take IPA, isopropyl alcohol, on a rag, and I wipe it off in between prints. And then I start my next print. Just line it back up on the bed, drop it down, and you're good to go. I love these things. Build mats are great. These are 1,000 times better than a build mat. Because with a build mat, sometimes you have to grab the bed and you got to get your scraper under it and you have to scrape it and knock the print loose. And if you don't hold the bed tight enough, you can knock your wheels out of sync, and then, you might have to re-level your bed. But if you're careful with it and you don't have an easy ABL or an ABL sensor, and you just do it manually, you don't have to re-level your bed very often if you don't mess with the bed and yank it around too much. And if you have a flex sheet with PEI or a coating or a magnetic sheet of some sort, you can simply take it off. You don't have to mess with it all the time. Yeah. Hello, you're back. How you doing?
I'm good. The internet here is having some problem, and we're still fixing.
I thought you went to lunch.
You can just continue from your side. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. I'm good at gabbing, so we've been talking about all kinds of things. So.
Great.
Yeah, if you want to close my screen, the little screen.
You wanted to.
I have to find more pictures. A lot of them were on a different computer. That's why I sent them to you. A lot of them weren't on this computer. Yeah, down below where you see the little picture, there's a remove button. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, we all thought you went to lunch. I said, okay, she'll be back. I'll keep talking.
Yeah, as you can probably feel that because the internet is not very stable here, so the voice is not very clear. So,
well, you need to move to where you have good internet. I always said where I live in Las Vegas, so I ever move out of my house, wherever I move, the first thing is, does it have good internet? And then which way does the house face? Because the sun, it comes up in the morning and it sets in the east and sets in the west. You don't ever want your house facing the west. It gets too much heat. So anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish they could fix that.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hello, Facebook user.
I'm back, and I prepared a lot of questions for Jerry.
Yeah, I covered a few of them, but you can re-ask them because people come and go. So.
Yeah. From the things that Jerry shared, we can see that a lot of things that come out very smooth. I mean, the surface is very smooth, and so can you share with us, give some suggestion regarding how to print the first layer?
Well, if you're new to 3D printing, you get your printer, you read the instructions, or you watch a video and you get it set up. You have to get a good first layer. And to get a good first layer, you get your nozzle about 1 millimeter off the bed. You take a piece of paper, you let it home, you disable the steppers, you slowly move the nozzle around the bed to each corner and in the center of the bed. You take a piece of paper, like I'm holding here, any kind of paper, and you stick it underneath the nozzle, and you want a real slight drag. You don't want the nozzle to grab it hard. You just barely want to be able to fill it. You can go around the bed. And there's also G-code files out there that people have designed that do the same thing. It moves around the bed electronically. It gives you time to slide the paper under it and adjust one of the 4 wheels. Once you get everything adjusted and you start your first print, everything is usually good to go. I use Cura and Simplified 3D. I've used Simplified 3D for almost 4 years now. It works great for me. Initially, I had to buy it for $150. And a lot of people use Cura. And then there's Idea Maker and Precisa Slicer, other slicers. But most prints you can print at 0.2 millimeter layer height, or 0.20 millimeter layer height. If you want real fine quality, you want something to look really nice, do it at 0.12. If I print a small statue or I have a hand or something on a statue, I usually print the hand straight up and I go at 0.10 millimeter, really fine detail. But when I do a model, let me show you a picture. Here's a Red Hulk, for instance. This is from Meg's Ensenada that I printed this Red Hulk. And the base was printed at 0.2, the chains at 0.20. I'd done the model, the Hulk himself at 0.12 millimeter layer height. And typically, whenever I do a base or a helmet or a Halloween pumpkin or something like that, 0.20 works really good. But this is just an example. And, you know, always learn your printer. A lot of people, they get a printer and they want to start modifying it right away. And then they start having trouble. Then they don't know where they went wrong at. Buy your printer, learn your printer, don't change anything, leave it 100% stock, use it for a couple months or 6 months, whatever it takes. You know, make sure it's working perfectly fine. You're getting good quality prints, which usually 9 out of 10 times out of the box, most printers usually work perfect out of the box. Not always, but most of the time. And then later on down the road, if you want to change this or change that, do one thing at a time. For instance, if the bed springs, if they don't have yellow springs and they've got the lightweight silver springs, people typically go with heavier springs. The number one thing that I always add to all printers is a filament runout sensor. You must have a filament runout sensor because if you print like I do, sometimes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because like the print on the other half of the Ghostbuster car is going to take 7 or 8 days to finish. There's a filament runout sensor. Once this filament runs out of the sensor, the stepper, the hot end will pause. The bed stays hot and it waits on me and it starts beeping and it lets me know to change the filament. Well, a few days ago, I ran out of filament and Geetex sent me some more filament in the mail. I waited around 24 hours and the printer was just sitting there idle waiting for me. Once the filament came in the mail, which I started to film for my next video, I put it on, hit the continue button, the hot end heated up, it primed filament, and then I hit resume and the print resumed. So a filament runout sensor is a must. ABLs, auto bed leveling sensors, are very nice. They're not mandatory, but they're convenient. Very rarely, if your bed is level and everything is square, then usually you don't have to level the bed that often. But having an ABL is nice for little minute differences in the bed. That's great to have. And I can grab another print. That's one. Here's a Mandalorian. And season 2 of Mandalorian, guys, is starting here in a couple weeks. I believe on the 30th of October. Here's a Mandalorian. This was a commission piece that Tony Chambers had done from 3D Model Crowdfund. And this came out really nice. And everything on him is printed at 0.20 millimeter or 0.12 millimeter layer height. His hand was done at 0.10, and then the base was done at 0.20. Because, like I say, with most terrains, you don't need high quality, and 0.20 most of the time looks perfect. You don't usually see a lot of layer lines or problems. And if you want to increase to 0.28 and go up, then you start losing quality. So I usually go 0.12 millimeter or 0.20, depending on what it is. But, you know, I have people that message me almost every day asking me about print settings and different things on Facebook. And you can always get onto any group and you can ask questions. People love questions. Here's a pumpkin that I did here. This is not out of Geetex filament, but this is a pumpkin for Halloween. I did for my wife last year. And I think this came off of my mini factory. I forget. I think this is in one of my videos. But this pumpkin came out really nice. And my layers on this are 644. I mean, it'd be really hard to break this. It's very heavy duty. If I drop this on the floor, I don't think it would crack it. It's very thick, very heavy duty. And let's see. Here's something cool. Something else that's really cool. Now, Spring hasn't seen this one. Check this one out.
Wow. That's cool.
That's a rainbow filament. And with some rainbows that you buy from companies, if the different colors change soon enough, when you do a model like this wireframe, it will change in the print. Sometimes if they have too much of one color before it changes, you would have to print something like a castle, and it's got to have a lot of infill. You've got to burn up the one color before it starts the new color. But this one changed quite a bit. And then I went on Amazon. I'm hearing feedback. When I talk, I hear my voice. Anyway, I got the eyes off of Amazon, I believe. You can buy eyeballs. So, and they're just hot glued in there. But that came out really cool. And then last year, I think it was last year, by Sanix at Malik's 3D Design, I did a Deadpool Halloween version. He needs to have red ice put in. I've got sockets for the eyes, but I haven't hooked up the LEDs, and it's got covers that goes over it. But and then it sits on a base that has a couple firearms in the front and a couple swords in the back. Looks pretty cool.
Oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's bigger than, it's probably as big as my head. You cannot wear it. It's just a statue. It's not a mask. But it came out really nice. Now put this in your window and scare off the bad guy. So. And then here's another mask. Here's like a little mask. This is also done out of a different type of rainbow filament. And I got this off of, I don't remember if it was Cults, My Mini Factory, or Thingiverse. But I think the best search engine that's out there is Yegi. If you go to Yegi.com, it has all these other search engines built into it. And if you search there, it usually loads faster. And then it will direct you to Thingiverse or My Mini Factory, wherever you want to go. So a lot of times I go to Yegi and because it kind of checks out everybody. So that's pretty cool. And that light I was showing earlier that I resin printed, here's half of it here. Now my Elegoo Mars could only print this much of it. So this top half I had to go in a net fab, and I cut that in net fab. And then I super glued it back together and it didn't hold. So I put some resin on it after I clear coated it, and I kind of made a mess of it. So if I can't lightly sand that out without scratching it, I'm thinking I might be able to take 1,000 or 1,500 grit wet and dry, and I might be able to sand that out and make it look better. I'm going to have to talk to Matthew about that, if that would work without scratching it, or I'll just reprint it. I'll recut it again. Well, I got the files. I'll just reprint it, reglue it together. But it's not really good. It's printed solid. There was no reason to hollow it. It's so thin. But most things in resin, I hollow if they're big, you save on resin. And I usually go 2 millimeters thick, I believe. And then I got some headlights here and taillights. Here's some of the headlights and taillights. These are resin printed, and these are solid. So it'll have an LED, whatever color behind it that will beam through it for the car. And I haven't tried it, but let's see. On the car here, the headlights, yeah, I'll have to figure that out. But the headlight would go in the front, and then you have your LED behind it to turn. You turn the lights on, it would light up. And let's see, what else can we show you? Oh, here's that turtle I was talking about. This thing is really cool. It's like
this
a little.
Is printed with G-Tech filament.
Yes, that was your blue filament. That came out really nice, and it floats in water. And if you move it back and forth, I mean, the kids would love it. Or if any adult taking a bath could put this in the bathtub and just kind of play with it in the bathtub. It's pretty cool. It's really neat. And it was all printed in one piece. I didn't have to put nothing together. So just like a Flexi Rexy.
Oh, one question for you. What's your finish process?
My finishing process, well, typically when a print gets done, most of the time I don't have to sand them. I just clean them up with a razor blade. And if I have to do any sanding, I use a razor knife when I clean up prints, or I use a little emery board like women use for their nails to clean your nails. I sand a lot of my prints with these. You can get these off Amazon in bulk packs, and they have different. Well, anyway, I sand a lot of my prints with these on the corners where there might be a little bit of under extrusion. Then I also use sanding sticks. You buy these off of Amazon, and they're little tiny. They're like toothpicks. If I get one out here. Anyway, there's different grits of sandpaper, and you can get little tiny cracks and crevices. And then you just cut off part of it when the sandpaper's no good and keep using the rest of it. And then I usually take everything outside, and I use Rattlecan primer that you buy from the Home Depot or Lowe's, Walmart. And I prime all my models, usually with gray primer. If you want the colors to really pop, you might want to use a white primer. If you're painting chrome, then you want a high gloss black. So I would paint them with a gray primer. And if you have any putty work, once you putty it and sand it and you hit it with primer, you can see your imperfections. If you can see the imperfection in the gray primer, that's what your model is going to look like. So you have to sand it down well enough with gray that it looks finished, perfect, done, before you ever consider, use a tack cloth or a damp rag with IPA or something on it, wipe off your model before you paint it. But like I say, I use Rattlecan primer. I do have airbrush primer. So if it's too cold outside and I can't print, I will go outside and I'll airbrush in the house. I'm getting myself confused here. But And then to remove prints, like I say, I use a Bill-Tack spatula, unless I have a flex sheet. Yeah, the mold form came out pretty good. The Buck, this is one of them. It's an ABS. I've got 10% infill. I think this is going to work out good. Like I say, I'm going to have to sand out all that circling because I've never used a vacuum former before, but I'm pretty sure that that's all going to show up in the clear if I leave it on there. So I have to sand it off real good. And then I might need to put a release agent on it, but I'm not sure if I have to or what I should use for a release agent, something I can spray it with so that when I stick it, I can either use an air gun to help pop it loose, or maybe I can just work it out with a release agent. But hopefully tomorrow I'll be testing that when I get my PETG in the mail today. I ordered 12 by 12 sheets of PETG, and I'm going to build a frame for them, flip it all the way around, put 2 bricks in my oven, set up my oven with a broiler overhead, heat it up. As it droops down 2 or 3 inches, I'll have to experiment. It's my first time. And yes, I'll probably set up a camera. I can make a video on it. And then I'll pull it out real quickly, and I'll vacuum form it. I'll have the vacuum turned on. I'll stick it over the box and see how it comes out. And that'll be another video. I love making content. I love trying to help out the community. And, you know, someday when I get enough subscribers, maybe someday I'll make a little money here or there. But if I don't, it's fun. I'm retired.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Just to make fun and enjoy.
Yeah, I have a blast. It's what I do full time. My wife gets tired of says, all you do is talk about 3D printing. Yep, that's all I ever talk about. I have a shirt that says, be careful, I might start talking about 3D printing that I wear sometimes. And when I talk to somebody on the phone to pay a bill, when I go to the store, when I go anywhere, I talk to people about 3D printing and I get them interested. So, just about everything.
One suggestion from William. You should consider a reason for detailed minutes.
Smooth on mold release is very good. I'll write that down and check into it. Clear coat helps release.
Okay, I will just quickly go through several questions. What do you think of auto leveling?
I have auto bed leveling on most of my printers. It works great. When I first got my first couple printers, or whenever I get a new printer, when I review a printer, I don't have ABLs on them right away, so I don't work with them. And the prints go good, but with an ABL, you can kind of forget about it and don't have to check it. But my first layer, every time a print starts, I have to check it. Sometimes I've got to hit the button 3 times, and I've got to baby step just a little bit to make sure it's where I want it. But yeah, I do like ABLs. I've never tried a BL Touch. I've used other ABLs by different companies, like TH3D, for instance. Most of my printers. So I would really like to review and test a multicolored printer. I've never tried multicolors, but whenever I do multicolors, let's say I'm printing a model one color so far up, I cut the filament, it goes through the filament runout sensor, the print pauses, then I put a different color on, then the print resumes. But that's only changing 2 different colors. Now,
that's still a single extruder, single extruder.
A single extruder, yes, MK8, MK10. If I wanted to print, say, an arm one color, then arm, this, and then the eyes and the hair and ears, you'd have to have a multi-extruder printer to do multiple colors, 2 or 3 different colors. So hopefully in the near future, I'll be trying one out, but we'll see how it goes.
Great.
Here's a heart box I did in red PLA. It looks really nice.
Wow, that's lovely. Can you share, like, you printed with JPEG PLA and something about the setting of your printer? Like when you start to try a new PLA or new material, what would be your process of setting it and testing the material?
Well, the first thing I do when I get any new PLA in is I look at the box and I look at the recommended print temperatures. But on all PLA, I print between 205 and 210. And I kind of disregard what the box says if it's PLA. If it's PETG, I print at 230 to 235. My process is the same. Every filament I've ever tried prints exactly the same for me. My settings are the same. I print at 210, the bed 60. If it's ABS, it's usually 80 on the bed and 235 on the nozzle, I believe. I'm printing with it now, but I haven't used ABS in a long time. And ABS has to be an enclosure, otherwise you'll have layer separation or the corners will curl. Some people say you don't. Yes, you have to have an enclosure for ABS. PETG, you don't need an enclosure, and it's the best of both worlds. It's a little bit like PLA. It's a little bit like ABS. My Hypercube, when I built it from scratch, I printed out all my parts out of a PETG, blue PETG. Yeah, but my settings are usually 644, usually 5 to 10% infill. It depends what it is. Most of my models are 5% infill. If I want something structurally stronger, I try to be careful how I angle it when I print it for which direction the layers are running, with usually 10% infill. Whenever you print a head on a model, or let's say if you print this mask, a lot of times when I print a model that has heads, I tip them back at a 45. I never want anything like this straight up and down, which I did when I first started printing, and then I had ringing all over the face. I don't want anything like this because the nose and overhangs, you tend to get a lot of support damage underneath things. When you tip a face back a little bit, like say Albert Einstein here, you're tipping back about like that. You're not going to, you don't have to worry about supports underneath the chin and the nose. Or you can print him straight down, which I think I did here. And then you have support damage wherever you have a lot of supports at typically. I guess that's about it. So and then here's another cool print. Here's a Chucky that I did. I forget where I bought this file at, but it wasn't cheap. And I was going to print this life size of my Hypercube a while back, but a different company, I was having trouble with their filament. So I never did reprinting real big. And then I have a mini Joel. This is a man that was live streaming right now on another channel. He's giving away 3 resin printers. So if we don't have many viewers, it's because they're watching his channel right here. It's your fault, Joel. And here's a little mini Chris. Here's a Chris Warcocky, little Chris statue. So see, then they can argue with each other, bump heads or something. But anyway.
Christmas man.
Yeah, this is a Chris Warcocky. He's got a YouTube channel, and this is Joe Telling. He's a real big YouTuber. He has over 400,000 subscribers. This person. So, and your filament. Let's talk about your filament for a minute. Your spools are awesome. They're very thick and heavy duty. They have very big holes in them to go with any spool holder. And there's a company a long time ago called AMZ 3D. And their filament was okay, but the hole was real little. And on a lot of the certain machines that I've used, the spool wouldn't fit on the machine. So it's good that there's a big hole. You have recommended, it has a reminder here on the blue sticker. You're reminding people when you disconnect the filament to hook it back in here. If you just let it go, it's going to tangle. It may not look like it tangled, but when you start the next print or move it to another printer, it might be tangled somewhere on the spool. And then when you go to bed that night, you wake up and it's printing in midair. Why is it printing in midair? Because it got tangled and it couldn't feed it through the extruder. So, and then a bunch of your filament came in a bag too.
Add is that since you mentioned about the tangle thing, is actually we have 2 types of filament currently in our stores. One type is like it's not some of the filament are like with a very nice beauty, well laid. I mean, it's like a very tidy layered in the rows.
Yeah, this was wound.
So we have the tidy one, and also we have the not tidy one. So we are trying to upgrade all the filaments to the tidy ones, but currently we are in a transition of doing that. Some of the filaments are not tidy, some are tidy. Just for let you know.
Here's a box that I just got in the mail yesterday, and let's take a look. Okay, now this one doesn't have a bag in it. My other 4 rolls, they had a bag in the bottom, like a freezer bag, to keep the filament to store it, but this one didn't. So this must be older filament. That must be something new you're doing. And then when Amazon sent this out, this didn't have it. But yes, it's wound very tight. Here, I can open it up. Where's my knife? Oh, where'd it go? Here it is. And it also has saran wrap on it.
Yeah, you can.
So this one doesn't have saran wrap, but my other 4 rolls did. So
Oh, this one is the tidy one.
yeah, but that came out really nice. And like I say, my other 4 spools of white G-Tech filament had saran wrap on it also, and then it had extra bags in there. So that's something the company probably started doing. The 2 rolls I just got yesterday didn't have the saran wrap on them, and it didn't have the extra bag in there to go with your anyway.
Oh, that's the silicone. That's the silicone gel that we put in to keep it dry.
Incandescent. Yeah, there's another word I'm trying to think of. I can't think of it. Desiccant. There. I read the bag. It says desiccant. Yeah, desiccant pack. So,
yeah. Some.
And that's something funny. That's Spring's favorite word. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, let's see if we can get her to turn red a little bit. Yeah, desiccant after printer. Yeah.
Speaking habits, I needed to improve.
Oh boy. Anyway, yeah. Anybody else have any questions? It'd be awesome. Anything you want to know? Anything I can tell you?
Yeah, if you guys have any question regarding the Jerry's project, anything related to 3D printing, or you have any question regarding our filaments or printers, you can ask here. We will try to give you a reply.
Yeah, Friday night I usually have a hangout.
Sorry. Since we talked about the filament, did you have any problem like when you are using the filament?
Well, with your filament, I've had no trouble yet, but there has been filaments I've used in the past. There was one company that I used, and it was very brittle. It was constantly brittle. And if you guys know how it is, you start a print for 3 or 4 days, you go to bed, you wake up, and the filament just randomly broke, and you're printing in midair again. Or you have a clog in the filament, which is a little knot in the filament. It won't go through the filament runout sensor, and there you're printing in midair again. So there's one company in particular I will never use again because I had too many problems with it. Most filament, not all filament, is similar to me. Almost everything I have used up to this point, I buy everything. It's usually between $15 and $20 price range, depending on the filament. I don't usually buy filament that costs $25 or $30 unless it's given to me for a review and then I try it out. But most filament is about the same. The G-Tech filament is very durable. It's very strong. The supports are very rugged. The raft, it's not brittle. Some supports, when you remove off prints, they just, you can crunch them like nothing. And it's not very strong filament. But the G-Tech filament, like I said, I've tried red, white, and blue, and it's been great. I've had no issues with it. And if I didn't like your filament, I wouldn't come on the live stream. I do have another company that recently wanted me to be on their live stream. I told my wife I can't be on their live stream because I can't think of anything good to say about it. And if I don't like something, I won't be on the live stream. And I don't do this to be on the internet because I stream myself 2 or 3 times a week. So I'm doing this to try to help your company out, or anybody has any questions for me. But yeah, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't try it. So yeah, I do recommend everybody buy G-Tech filament. They got great filament. I've had no trouble with it. I'm not saying that I won't run into something in the future I might have a problem with, but I haven't had any problems. So,
you get a yeah.
There we go. Yeah again. Okay. He's gonna get the hiccups in a minute.
Some good comments from our customers.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so, thank you guys for giving good comments about our filament. But indeed, I also sometimes get 1 or 2 complaints from customers saying some small problems. So regarding any problems you met when you are using the filament you bought from our store, so if you have any problem, you can contact the Amazon store, or you just let us know about the filament tracking number. We will also put it in our system, and also to track it, and also you can tell us the if there's any anything not good, we will try. I will give you a replacement and try to improve it.
Yeah, David Houchin, he drops in on some of my live streams. He said he's never had a bad roll. I have a picture if you want to share it. I got a picture there you can pull up. Yeah, the marble. I haven't used Getex marble, but I've used other marbles that look really nice. And I do enjoy making lithopanes. Yeah, down below, there's a screen. It's got a Ghost of Ghostbusters that I printed a long time ago by Sanix.
Matt is asking you, how many printers do you have?
I have 11 printers. One of them's a resin printer, Elegoo Mars. I have 10 other printers that I'm not going to discuss the brand names since they're not Getek. And then I have a Hypercube. So out of respect for Getek, we're not talking about what printers I have, but you can probably see them behind me. So anyway. But yeah. But like I say, I'm on YouTube. I've got a lot of videos, 3D printing and painting, or 3D HP. And then I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You're welcome to join me, subscribe, and come check out what I got in all my videos. And I try to make entertaining videos and explain my process. They're not scripted. They're not well polished. It's just me being me, and this is my hobby, and I try to share that with everybody and help out everybody that I can. Yeah, Non-Fam, he's been on a couple of my hangouts. I haven't seen what he looks like yet, but his audio is there. He just hasn't got his camera fixed. But Non-Fam, maybe Friday if you got a camera. So. And Andrew S., he's a great guy. So, and David.
Oh, we got this question from, I think, Goriv. He's asking PLA plus silk PLA and short color changing rainbow. Yes, we have, I think we have silk PLA and also short color changing rainbow silk as well. PLA plus, I'm not sure yet. I will check and let you know.
If you can look at the front of the car, guys, this is PLA plus silk. It's from a different company on the very front of the car, but that's what it would look like. Because when I first started this project, I hadn't contacted Getek, and another company couldn't supply what filament I needed for the car. So then I contacted Getek. They've been on my group for a while, and I contacted them, and they were more than happy to help sponsor most of my build. And anyway, then they wanted me to come on a live stream and talk about what I think of the filament. I think it's great. And once again, like I said, I live stream all the time. So if I don't like something, I'm not going to come live and talk about it because I go live myself multiple times a week. So anyway, and anybody that knows me, they know that I speak the truth. I don't say what people want to hear. I don't, hide things, but, anyway. If you have any questions, please ask. Spring, share the screen down below. I have a picture there. Yeah, that's by Sanix. I did that a few years ago for my wife. It's a Ghostbusters diorama, and it's got all the characters. That text on the screen is what Sanix put on his website when you go to buy that model. But I'm thinking about reprinting these characters in resin to put them with my Ghostbuster car. So, and just scale them up a little bit and print them out of resin. These were all FDM printed a long time ago. But that's pretty cool. So, thought I'd share that with everybody. Just reading what chat's saying. See, a few people or one person had some issues with some of your different printers, different problems, but they love your filament. So, yeah, I don't currently have a Getek printer. If I did, I would be more than happy to tell everybody what I think or what I did or didn't do to make things better or, whatever. But I can talk about the filament. And anybody, one question you were going to ask me, do I have any suggestions on people just getting into 3D printing or wanting to reviews or get sponsored? Are you still there or are you frozen? Are you there? Oh, okay. Yeah, you were like this. You weren't moving. I thought you, okay. I'm thinking, oh no, the internet went down again. Anyway, yeah, if you have a Facebook group, well, first off, I've had a Facebook group for over 3.5 years, and I get a lot of people on there. And then a lot of times companies want to list things on my channel or join my group. Most of the time, I don't let companies join my group because I know that some companies are going to spam my group. So certain companies I allow to join. Most companies I don't allow to join. Then I started a YouTube channel, and I was making some corny videos a long time ago, and they had one note music in them because my editing software, Movie Studio Platinum, had like a music maker that goes with it, and I didn't know that I could download copyright-free music off YouTube and use that in a lot of my videos, which I do now. And just have to get content out there. You know, when you print out a model by somebody, post it all over social media, take lots of pictures, tell people your settings, whether your layer height, your infill, what slicing program, what filament you use. Always plug the designer that made that model or where you got that from. Plug them in that write-up. Because people love pictures, sure, but they love to know what your process was, how you did it. So post all over social media. I usually post on like 10 groups. When I get a model from somebody and they give me the model for free because they want me to print it and show it off, I post it in like 10 to 12 groups. I tell all my settings within reason, you know, because people can always, as you see in comments, people always ask, well, what was this? What was that? If you answer that from the get-go, you don't have to come back and answer questions. So just list it, post content. And then at some point, you'll see some different companies out there that you can contact them and say, hey, I'm such and such. I do this, I do that. Would you be interested in sponsoring me? Or would you maybe let me test this or try that? All you have to do is ask. If you're a small channel, 9 out of 10 are going to say no, they're not interested. You need 10,000 subscribers. But it doesn't hurt to ask. Some companies will say yes, some will say no. Do filament, build yourself up. And over time, and with more viewers and more subs, you will grow, and then more people want to approach you. I have so many printers now that if I get a free printer, guess what? It's not really free because I have to build it and do a video and edit it and do follow-up videos and make posts. My time is money. It takes a really long time to do that and a lot of headaches and aspirin to get through it. So it's not really free. The printer is only free to somebody that's not going to do videos, not going to post pictures. They're getting a free printer. Everybody else has to work for that printer. And since company nowadays can't do a TV commercial, they post on social media. That's where everything is at, is social media. So the smallest little bit is a company. They give the person a printer. They make multiple videos. They advertise for them. And even if they're an affiliate, now a lot of people may not buy that printer through that developer or that YouTuber or streamer. They may go elsewhere, but they might have been inspired by that person. So by that company tracking how many people are using that link doesn't really represent how many people that person, you know, it encouraged them to buy it through that particular person. So because they might buy it elsewhere. I mean, when I built my last computer, it cost me over $4,000. I watched a lot of people on YouTube, but I didn't use their affiliate links. I went to Amazon, or I went here, I went there. They influenced me. They're the reason I bought it. But by me not using their affiliate, the company doesn't see me buying it because of that video, because I didn't click on that link in that video. But anyway, so all I gotta say is, you know, print lots of stuff, post pictures, leave good descriptions, post it all over the place. And, you know, and if you ever want to go live, I can't hear you. You're still can't hear you. No. There you go. Oh, can't hear you again. I heard you giggle and then you went mute. There you go. Okay.
Okay now?
Yep, we're good.
Oh, finally. Sometimes it's just automatically muted. Okay, I think you already give some great suggestions for those who are new to and wanted to get into 3D printing, maybe to do their videos, and also share their encourage people to share more on the social media to improve their.
Okay, share my screen one more time, please. Okay, here's my resin printing setup. My Elegoo Mars right there on the right, and then I've got an ultrasonic cleaner. In front of that is a pickle barrel that I keep alcohol in. And then on the far right side, that silver can is a trash can I bought at Lowe's. I took out the mechanism. It's still spring-loaded, and that sits on a mirror with a little turntable. I simply lift up the lid, set my parts down in there on the little turntable, and then I go to the microwave and time it. And let's see, next to them, I have my gloves. I buy at Harbor Freight. And then I have another printer that's in an enclosure when I do ABS. And let's see. And then here's where I'm currently talking. This is where I film everything from. My light box there, it was too much bright light, so I put cardboard around it, painted it black. And this I took a little while ago before I started streaming. And then you can see a rack there to the right, the gray rack. That's all resin print from top to bottom mostly. And then, let's see. And here's my little paint booth that I made there. I had a small paint booth that I bought off Amazon that was really small. I took the foldable sides off of it, got a big box. It's 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot, mounted that in the back of it and siliconed it in. And one thing good about that spray box, I can go to the dollar store and I can buy different colored cardboard, and it works perfect as a photo booth. When you want to post photos, you simply put it in there. My son said, well, it's going to have paint in it. I said, when you put in that clean cardboard, nobody sees the paint. It's got an LED light in the top of it, and you take your photos. It works great. And then I have, when I first started painting, I was using apple barrel off Walmart. And then I got some different, better Citadel and things off Amazon. And based on the paint or the model you're printing, you're always going to buy more paint. You'll see something you want to paint, you won't have the color, so you order it. And over a few years, you just get more and more and more stuff. And then I have a lot of different Rabble cans there, different kinds of paint. Oh, and one thing I said earlier, whenever you paint model chrome, you want to prime it gray, for instance, or white, whatever you want to prime with. Once that's done, you hit it with a high gloss black, a really high gloss black. And then when you spray your chrome over it, when you airbrush chrome over the high gloss black, you barely spray it. You have to, basically the black blades through it to give it the mirror finish. If you do multiple coats, it's going to turn silver and look like silver spray paint. So whenever you spray chrome, you have to do a real light coat over it, and it'll pop out and look like chrome. Then you stop. Don't hit it with multiple coats, or each time you go over it, it's going to get duller and duller, and it's going to look like silver paint. And let's see if I have another one here behind it.
Cool.
I think I showed you that one. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay.
Okay. Let's look at more comments from here.
Do you have flex sheets? When you were off camera, when you went to lunch earlier, I was talking about flex sheets. Do G-Tech printers have magnetic beds?
I think we have. I think we have one.
Okay, the spring steel maybe. Because this one that I have here, it's textured on one side and PEI on the other side. And they're great for prints because you just pop them off. You pop the print off, wipe it down with IPA on a rag, and then start your next print.
Okay, for some questions. For the bed, I think for the bed issue here is like most people will upgrade them to glass one or to make it better. So hope this will be helpful for you to do the prints.
The aluminum, if the bed itself that the rollers are attached to is warped and it's a constant problem, yes, your company would need to change that and make a thicker bed. You don't want to send out a product that's warped and they have to start buying things automatically. Most of the time when somebody gets a printer in the box, they want it to put it together and be printing in 10 minutes or an hour, but, once in a while, different companies will have a printer, and when they come out with it, they send them out and they let people all over the world basically, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Test, not test it. There's another word I want to use, where their quality control is done by people around the world rather than in-house. So a lot of things.
This also is related to the bed plate. I will check with on my company and see if we will make a thicker bed plate and get back to you in other live streaming.
I'm gonna grab something. Grab a mirror.
Glass C clips. Yes.
A long time ago on two of my printers that I got 3.5 years ago that had 300 by 300 beds, they had a piece of glass on them, and on all the glass, they were warped. So I went to a mirror shop, and I bought a 1/4-inch mirror. Then I had the edges beveled on it, and I use these on a couple of my printers. One of my printers currently has a magnet stuck on it. I cleaned it with alcohol really good, and I put my magnet, and then it's got a, I think it's a flex mat, or it's got a blue mat from TH3D. Once that wears off, I'm going to put a flexible build surface on it, or the flex plate like I just showed you. But this is the one here that I had the problem with when I use that nanopolymer. I had glue stick on it. I did this large buck in glue stick, no problem. But since I had so much glue stick on there built up over time, I went and washed it off. And it's like, hey, I got that sample nanopolymer. Let me try that out. So I put it on, which is still on there everywhere. And I watched a video on their website, and they said on ABS and PLA, when it cools down, it'll release. Well, I had the first layer squished too much. And because it did, it bonded to the glass. I used my scraper to pop it up, which, like I mentioned, these are they're paper thin. They get underneath it, and I pop the glass. So then I heated it up to 80C to see if I get the other two off. And nope, I couldn't get the other two off. So I had to run across town to buy another piece of glass. And yeah, the excess weight, I'm not worried about it. It's thick. You can use mirrors from like Home Depot or Lowe's that are a lot thinner. I prefer not to use those. I like the bigger, thicker ones. So
yeah. Good sharing. Okay, so here is one more suggestion. So if you have a good glass bed, you can put a flex sheet on top of it.
Yes, most definitely.
The flat is the number one.
Yeah, that's why I tend to go with mirrors over glass. If a mirror is distorted or warped, you'll look at it and you'll see it. And usually mirrors look perfect. So I would suggest if you're going to put any kind of a magnetic build surface, put it right on top of your mirror. But yet on some of my smaller printers that are 305 by 305, I put the magnet directly on the build plate, the aluminum build plate.
Okay, so so this is regarding your model finish compliment.
Oh, thank you very much, Hammer Doom. Yeah, I'm an amateur painter. I'm not a professional. I just tinker around with painting. My wife always says, "Don't print no more. You got too much stuff. Start painting." But I'm retired here in Vegas, and the time just flies. I get up in the morning, watch a little TV, drink some coffee. Next thing you know, it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The days just fly by. And I'm enclosing my back patio outside right now. I want to move out my paint station and my resin printer out there. Then when I get some more bigger resin printers, I want to move them all outside to that outside room to free up more space. Because this used to be a living room in my house. It's the biggest room in my house currently. It's my hobby room. And my wife doesn't care because we used to have a big table. And then on holidays, we'd have company come over to eat. And that's the only time we ever used the room. So it's perfect for a hobby room.
Okay, we have someone saying our super plate is good. Thank you, Josh. And he's also asking, what's your biggest print?
My biggest print would have been the picture that I wanted you to show. It's a spawn I did for my son. It's probably about 30 inches tall. It's about this big around. Let me see if I can find a photo of it.
Oh, you shared with me there.
Yeah, I shared a bunch of pictures with you.
Yeah.
And my pictures were on a different computer, so I don't have them on this computer.
Let me see if I can find it.
And then another one I did real big. Let me grab it. Boom. This one here is huge. This one here is really big too.
Wow.
Black suit Superman versus boy, what's his name? I can't remember his name. But in chat, I'm sure you'll remember his name. This is from a designer named Fragments. He's all over Facebook. And a while back, I did a video on this, and I interviewed Frag on one of my videos. He's a designer. He does some really cool work. But yeah, this here is really big. Heavy, too. And and the base for it is so big around, it looks like a Captain America shield. I probably went through 600 or 700 rolls of filament since I've been printing at least, and it's just a hobbyist.
I think this is the one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's Spawn. The designer, or Tony Chambers on 3D Model Crowdfund, had that commission for him. That's my son standing behind it with a Spawn mask on. I put LED lights in it that light up, and that's my son behind the print. But that thing's huge. I do have a smaller one I made like that at 150% scale that I'm currently selling. I have on a list for sale on a few groups. I need to get a Etsy store going because I've got hundreds of models that just sit here and I need to move them. I need to get rid of them. Painted or not, I just need to start selling. But I've been saying that for a couple of years now. But if I would start selling prints, it would pay for my hobby. Yeah, go ahead and flip through them. I don't know if I can talk about them.
It peels from the bed. Does anyone have a solution for this?
The magnetic build surface is peeling off the bed. Is that your problem? There's not enough adhesive, or they're not using 3M? I'm not sure. That might be what he's talking about, Andrew. You're saying that the magnet's coming off the bed, not staying down? Or there's not enough magnetism and it's the quality issue? Because I had that with a company a while back where their bed mat, it would barely stick. It didn't have enough magnetism in it.
Okay. Oh.
Go ahead and go to the next picture.
Have you tried the G-Tech Glow in the dark filament? I think for this filament, we are having a special promotion right now in our Amazon store.
I use all stock nozzles, 0.4 millimeter brass nozzles in my MK hot end. I'm not sure if you can run glow in the dark filament through it. That might be too abrasive. I'm not sure. I've never tried glow in the dark film, but yeah, it would be cool.
Glow in the dark filament is, I think it's this one is like in the evening you can see it's beautiful, like
it glows. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Anyway. Whoa. Uh-oh, did her internet drop again? Yeah, anyway, okay, since I'm full screen here, let's take Doomsday. That's who this is. This is Doomsday. Yeah, he's like really big. And I need to paint him. I haven't painted him, but what's bad about it, he's primed gray, and once he's painted, he's mostly gray. So I have to figure out what to do with him, but I want to paint him. And the base for it is huge. It looks like a Captain America shield. And then I've got a Superman, called Black Suit Superman, that's slugging him in the face right here. That mounts right in front of him. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I sent her quite a few photos, and I guess she hasn't pulled them up. I had photos on my other computer that I sent to them so they could pull them up and we could talk about them, because a lot of things I wanted to show you I don't have right here with me where I can grab it. Unless you see something around me. Let's see.
So here comes one suggestion from William about the question before. It's the magnetic mat comes off the bed. The adhesive is not good. So you can replace it with a spray gun from a hardware store. So I think this is for the previous.
3M adhesive might work. I'm not sure. You might want to Google that or ask in Facebook groups what other people have done and works. But that spray adhesive might work. I know 3M makes it. It's in a black can. That might work. Here's a Dr. Doom that I did. Yeah, who can Andrew S. contact with G-Tech? He said the super plate peels off the original bed, non-magnetic. I was waiting on replacement parts from G-Tech that was over a year ago, and he never heard anything back. So who should he contact to try to get that resolved? But this is Dr. Doom. Tony Chambers had this commissioned over on 3D Model Crowdfund. I painted it. Came out pretty good. The hardest thing I have trouble doing eyes and face or skin tone. I'm still trying to learn my skin tones, and doing little tiny eyes are hard. Even though I wear a magnifying glass, I got small paintbrushes, eyes are really hard to do. And if you've seen on Facebook over the last 2 days, the new Wonder Woman movie coming out, somebody posted a statue that a company did where the face on this model looks real. The lady that's doing the model are putting little eyeballs in the sockets, and you'll swear this is a really Wonder Woman standing there. I'm thinking, wow, that's her stunt double for a lot of scenes. That model looks real. I wish I could paint a face that well. So if I can ever learn how to do makeup like a woman does makeup to fix herself up, because I have different colored chalks for pastels that people use for shading. And whenever you paint in layers on a model, you want to take some matte finish clear and lightly spray it, just barely coat it. That way when you paint the next layer, especially on a face, if you have to rub it off, you don't rub off all your layers. So if you use a matte clear finish and just lightly spray over it, let that dry, then put the next color, whether it be eyes or face texture. Because if you don't do that and you make a mistake and you get it wet to wipe it off, you're going to wipe off all your layers. So always do that in between layers. And then if you want the model to look like a toy when you're done, hit it with a high gloss clear. If you want it to look like this, hit it with a matte finish. That way it'll look like how you painted it. There's different types of varnishes, matte finishes, whether it's airbrush or in a rattle can.
I think this is also a good suggestion for the question before.
Do you have someone in your company that Andrew can contact about his build service he had trouble with and no one's ever contacted him? Do you have a person you should recommend?
Oh, you mean from GTech set?
Yes.
We have the tech, we have the IT team and the support team. I think currently, if you have any problem with your printer or server, especially printer tech problems, or you can go to our official website. Let me show you.
Maintenance on my printer, Facebook user. Well, when I used to print 24/7, I would say every 3 or 4 months if they're constantly printing, but I would check things out and clean them. Right now, I rarely print, so unless a print fails and then I find out the issue and I replace the part at that time, I usually, other than just wiping them down with IPA on a rag, I check my belts all the time. Before I do a print, I usually check the belts, the tension. I check the hot end. I move the bed, make sure everything is good to go before I start a print. Because it would really suck to have something be loose. You started to print, now it failed on you. So I tend to peel things out by hand. Also, I got a portable air can here. It's white, or a yellow air can I bought from, I don't remember, Walmart or somewhere. It's got a flex hose on it right here with an air gun. And I go out in the garage, I fill this up with air, bring it in the house, and your extruder, an extruder will grind a little bit and get filament stuck in it, or bits of debris fall down around your printer and your extrusion. I'll use this to blow it out all the time. And where your hot end gets a lot of cobwebs in it or dust and debris. And if you hold the fan, always hold the fan with your finger when it's turned off, and you can blow out your fan, clean out the debris out of your extruder and your different parts. But like I say, whenever you're messing with your printer or anything electronic, always unplug it. And if you ever open up your case and want to blow it out, hold the fan with your finger when it's turned off and unplugged, and you can blow everything out. I do this on my computers also. If I'm unable to take them outside, I can lightly blow things out and clean things out with an air gun. And that's cheaper than buying cans of compressed air. Just have one of these. Or, I used to run a hose from my garage all the way in my house, but it's quite a bit of hose. And then I'd clean different things that way.
Okay, so you can see, so if you are having any problem with your printer, you can come to the GTech official website here. I just shared the link here. And when you come here, we actually have the...
Andrew Escudi was speaking to Scott Alexis and he sent him a A30 bed, and the bed was bent. A man named Scott.
So here you
Alex. Alex.
If you wanted to contact us, you can just here to submit to our technical support. And then here, there will be a sign-in page. So you need to click account here. For example, here we have one already. And then we'll log in and then build a ticket there. So here, you can set up a ticket here and telling us about the problem, any problem that you are having. So you just can follow the instructions here to set one ticket, and then we will get back to you.
Here's another picture you can share.
Which one?
You can share my screen down there.
Okay.
This is my hobby room before I moved my desk out where it's currently at. As you can see where the chair is, it's right up against the printers. I pushed it way out at an angle, so this is an older picture, but that gives you an example of a lot of the models and stuff that I painted on the different shelves. And then I got stuff in a spare room. And then behind the hypercube on the back wall by the window, there's a shelf down near the floor that's 8 foot long that has tons of prints on it that aren't printed. So when I expand out back and move a lot of my paint stuff and my resin stuff out back, I can take the shelf down below and move those prints that need to be painted up on the top where I can set them up and see what I'm going to work on and not work on. So, but yeah, it's a real addicting hobby. I love it. Like I say, you can prototype, design almost anything. And then with resin printing, there's different types of resin that you can mix nowadays to make prints really strong. So almost indestructible. So for cosplay helmets and things, there's resins you can mix. That'd be really awesome. And how do I store my filament when I'm not using it? Sometimes I put it in zipper lock bags with condensant packs. Sometimes I just stack it up, and I don't do that. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a real dry climate. I rarely have humidity problems. I do have a small filament dryer if I should ever need to dry something. And sometimes people, when they buy filament and they go, well, it just came in the package. It's got a desiccant pack. I don't need to dry it. Well, wherever that filament was made might have been a humid climate. That filament might come wet. And when you go, if you're getting a lot of layer separation, the print looks like hell, you're hearing popping coming from the extruder, you probably have wet filament. Some people automatically dry filament when they first get it, which I never do that. I've never had an issue. But, you know, most of the time my prints come out great. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes I have trouble. So, like with the mirrors. So, anyway.
Okay, so I think we... really, I'm sorry about this. So if it's over 1 year, it will not be covered anymore. For the ticket, we just so we just have this function for the open the ticket in our website. So this is for all the users. If you are having GTech printer and having any problem, or you need any you needed to find a solution, you can contact us through our GTech website and create an account and then build your ticket there to tell us about your problem.
This is a model by Megs Enspinata. I'm sure most of you people have seen this model all over the internet and at different shows, but he's done a great job on it. He's an awesome artist. He has a Patreon running right now, and he's over on Facebook. But yeah, he does a lot of great work.
Well done. Another good printing and painting as well.
Thank you.
Jerry, we have one question about how do you store your filament?
Yeah, I just answered that a minute ago. Most of the time, sometimes I put it in Ziploc bags with condensant, and then there's other times where I don't. I just simply stack it up on the shelf. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, here in the USA. It's a very dry climate, and I don't have a humidity problem here. But if I should ever have filament that I think might be wet, all I have to do is drop it in my filament dryer that I tried out from another company recently, and then I dry it out before I use it. But usually I get it in the mail, I open it and print with it. 99.9% of the time, I've never had a problem. But if you have a lot of popping coming from the hot end, you're having layer separation, or your print just looks terrible and you can't figure out why, well, you might have wet filament. So, and then you're always welcome to go on any Facebook groups. And before you go on a Facebook group and automatically post a question, there's a search bar on Facebook. Type in your question in the search bar. Say wet filament, or just type in certain words, because guess what? There's probably already been 1,000 people have the same question you're getting ready to ask, so you don't have to ask it again. Just do a search for it. And that's what I do all the time. Whenever I want to build something or do anything, I go to YouTube. I'm a handyman. I can do almost anything, but I go to YouTube and watch a video to see how somebody else did it. Now, just because they did a video doesn't mean it's right. That's just how they did it. So then you read the comments, and you'll see people in the comments might know more than the person that done the video, saying, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. But you know how it is. Everybody has an opinion. So take everything with a grain of salt, ask questions, and, you'll eventually get the right answer. So,
and
like
someone is asking, how do you maintenance your printer? Change the wheels and the belts.
Well, on a lot of my printers, I went to polycarbonate clear wheels instead of the black ones. On a few of my printers, I still got the black wheels. And as you know, over time, they build up black gunk, and you got to clean them off or blow it off. And then they get wore off, and I usually switch over to polycarbonate quite often. If I don't use the printer much, I don't check things that often. If I'm printing with it constantly after each print, I check the belts, I check the tension, I move the bed to make sure it's not loose. I wipe down everything with IPA. When I get dust and dirt on things, I wipe it down. I got the air can here I just showed you that I keep in here. I fill up with air. The extruder, sometimes they click and filament gets built up. I blow it off with an air gun to keep that clean and clear. So just kind of look at it, make them, tidy them up. I usually don't replace things till they go bad. If I have a failed print, the bearing went bad, or like on one of my bigger printers, one of my stepper motors went out on my Z, and it was making all kinds of racket. I just replaced the board in it. The stepper's making racket. I've got dual Zs. I said, well, I just replaced that 6 months ago. It has to be this one over here making the noise. So I replaced the other one. Still making the noise. Nope, the same one went out again. So, But all you have to do is ask. If you ever have a question, just get on Facebook, ask me or somebody else. Almost everybody's always willing
to ask in a group or get some suggestions from 3D printing hobbyists. I think this is a friend from Italy, Ciao. Cannot understand all, but ciao.
I don't understand.
He's saying thank you to someone.
I know he's talking to non-fam, so non-fam translate if it's for us. He said merci means thank you, so I understand the first word.
Yeah. Okay. I have one question for all audiences, and also Jerry. Do you have any suggestion for our filaments? Since you maybe some of you have already used our filament, do you have any suggestion or to add for us to consider in the future?
Yes, I wrote a couple things down. Once in a while, this is really trivial, but you should put stickers in your boxes once in a while, because if people own your filament but don't have your printers, they like stickers. Everybody loves stickers. So maybe a couple times a year, not constantly. It might cost, I don't know if it would cost too much money to always put a sticker in a box. I know some companies always include stickers. Some companies don't ever put stickers. The Ziploc bags was an awesome idea, and I love that you put Ziploc bags in, but then I just ordered 2 rolls that didn't have it. So maybe that was older stock that Amazon had, and the newer stuff that you had, which I got last week, had cellophane tape, cellophane over the plastic, and then I had a zipper lock bag in with it. That was a nice touch. Whenever you do a live stream,
plastic is a good idea. We are adding plastic to our filament now.
Your spools are really nice. They're heavy duty. They're really nice spools. It's got a large hole for all filament holders. I have no issues with the spools. The boxes are nice. The vacuum sealed is great. And like I was telling people, if you came to the stream late, as you know, if anybody that knows me, I live stream 2 or 3 times a week. I'm always doing videos. I wouldn't come on a company's live stream unless I like their product. Another company asked me a while back to be on their live stream, and I told my wife, I said I can't, because I can't think of nothing good to say. There's certain companies I've had certain issues with, and I can't say good things about it. And I'm not going to lie to people. That isn't who I am. So I'm a hobbyist. I enjoy my hobby. I try to help people when I can. And if someday I get enough people that join me on YouTube and I start making a little bit of money to help my income, that's awesome. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. But anyway, yeah, the Ziploc bag's a great thing, Non-Pam. Set up a filament plant in Canada, Hammer of Doom says.
We have one more question.
How long do your live streams usually last?
Normally 1 hour and 10 minutes around. Now today we enjoyed a lot talking with you.
Hour 40, cool.
Yeah. Just the one.
Here in America, I'm sorry to interrupt, but they got a presidential debate going on, which is going to take a lot of people away. Joe Telling was streaming earlier and giving away resin printers. That'll take a lot of people away. But people will watch this later. They'll watch it tomorrow. They'll watch it next week. And hopefully they'll give a like, they'll comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, share the video. That, it helps out me. It helps out Geetech. I would really appreciate it from everybody. So.
Yeah, we appreciate your suggestions, and also all the audiences, if you are watching this, you have any suggestions for us, welcome to comment here, or just a comment, contact us in our Geetech official Facebook account. And yeah, one notice for this week is that we are going to add another live streaming tomorrow, talking about how to do purging properly in multicolor printer. So because a lot of users, they have our multicolor printer like from A10 to A30M and the T series. So these are like dual color and also triple color. So if you are interested, you can join us tomorrow. And since today the time is limited, we are not going to have the gift session, and we will have gift session tomorrow. And today I will share a little bit about our promotion that we are having right now in our Amazon store.
I love Amazon. They got everything. Why drive to Walmart when Amazon can get it to you today or tomorrow?
Okay, so I think let me share with you guys off the screen. Okay, so you can see my screen here.
Okay.
Yeah, so this can help a little bit. Okay, so we have a product here is in UK. We have orange and the green filament. I will. Let me. I'll share the link. Okay, I'll start from US first, because here is what we have. Okay, so for Joanna is helping me to post. For UK, we have the currency for orange PLA is 18 euro in Amazon. Okay, come back more clear.
Hey Dan, how you doing?
Yeah, we also have the green PLA, which is also is 20 euro for in Amazon currency. Okay, and for France, we have deals for filament silver is 17 euro instead of 25 euro. So here we also have the link. You can check it out. Wow. Nice prints for, I think this is good for Halloween.
They're both different types of rainbows.
We have this.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And we printed this, and not sure if you can see.
Full screen yourself.
Off screen.
There you go.
That's yeah. Nice. So this is printed just 1 or 2 days ago online with.
Very nice.
Yeah, and so one more.
Oh wow! The ghost and the tongue comes out.
Yeah.
Cool.
And something like this.
It looks like my mother-in-law. Okay.
Okay, so and some more for Spain. Let's see the more promotion in Spain. We have the A10 printer. It's 203 euro.
If anybody's watching Joel's stream, if he hasn't given away the printer yet, if I should win, let me know so I can say hi in chat.
Yeah. Oh, I have this habit again.
That's fine. That's cute.
Okay, and for this is for filament, bronze filament. In Spain is 23 euro almost. So instead of 27. So these are the promotion for 23rd on October. Okay, and also for the black Nuevo Negro filamento is black filament is 22 euro instead of 26. Wow. This is also for the 23rd of October. Okay. Oh, adding one more thing for UK is that
Astro printer. I have the stream running in my bedroom, and I made comments earlier a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
I entered those drawings. Sorry.
Printer for in UK for the Pro B is 15% off, and now the price is 114 almost. So this is only for one day. For one day on 23rd in UK. So if you guys, if anyone need a printer, you can check it out. And also in UK, we have the filament on promotion is the price vary from 15 to 18 for PLA filament. So here we have the link. So this is the promotion for on 24th.
Astro printer, I just pulled it open on my second
have a different, because right now we are having lots of promotion because of the Halloween.
Okay.
Halloween is a big event festival in US and also the European countries.
I don't know about this year as far as for trick-or-treating, but it's a great holiday to celebrate normally. I guess everybody can dress up like a masked bandit.
What are you going to print for this Halloween? Do you have any plan?
No, I don't have any plans for Halloween. Just watch scary shows on TV. I like to go out and buy candy the day after when it's on sale, but I've gained a lot of weight. I don't need to be eating candy.
Okay. Just some. So because a lot of people are planning for the Halloween, so we're having lots of promotion in Amazon. So one more marble color filament in UK. Here the price is 18.24 euro. So this is the deal on the 24th of October. So many. Now we coming to US. For US, the printer A20M is for this printer is a multicolor printer. Currently, our discount price is $309 US dollar. In Amazon store, you can check it out if you are interested in multicolor printer. This should be a good offer. So and this one is a A20T. So this is a triple color, 3 color in and 1 out printer. So for this printer, our current discount price is $369. You can also have the link here. And now finally we have the filament, different color from white, black, glow in the dark, as we mentioned before. For this one, we have the promotion discount starting from 40.7 US dollar to 18.2 US dollar. Here is the link. Oh, sorry, I had made some in UK. I should say pound instead of US dollar. The unit is pounds. Yes, you're right. Yes. Thank you, Andrew.
Share my screen while you're talking, please.
Okay.
Okay, here's my group on YouTube, guys. If you want to come over and join me, 3D HP, 3D printing and painting.
Jerry, you can share your link here directly
Okay.
to your YouTube channel.
All right. Yeah, I'll post it in 1 second. Anyway, yeah, I got quite a few videos. I go live 2 or 3 times a week, and then I do videos every couple of weeks. I put out a couple videos here and there.
Yeah.
All right, you can unshare it. I put it, there's a link in private chat.
Okay, so that's all for our promotion currently. And besides those promotion on our GTech official Facebook page, we are having some also Halloween activity as well.
Unshare my screen, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, here's the link right here, guys. I'm not sure if that's clickable or not, but I'm watching Joel on my second monitor, and his chat is going by so fast I can't read it. It's almost like it's broken. It's moving so fast. He's got almost 1,500 people watching. That's crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so here in our GTech Facebook page, we are having a special Halloween activity. Is that you can share what you printed for Halloween in our page, and also we will have two winners, 2 friends for this activity. So what you needed to do is to like our GTech page, homepage, and this post. So you needed to like this page, for example, here, and share your prints of Halloween in the comments, and also you needed to add a tag. Okay, so this is the Halloween activity that we are having. So if you have made some prints for the Halloween, I think you can share it here with more friends. It will be a good idea as well to share more things. And yeah, that's all for what we are going on in the GTech set. Thank you very much, Jerry.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, for coming by. I appreciate it. Yeah, everybody came by and watched. Everybody that's going to watch this in the future and you're not here live, maybe hopefully I told you something that might help you or give you some incentive or encouragement to go out and 3D print this or that, or buy more filament, buy more printers. You never have enough printers. There's always a reason to buy more printers. So yeah. But
it's a great sharing live streaming. And so if anyone wants to say thank you to Jerry, you can. We have 1 or 2 minutes here to show the comments. And at the meantime, and I sincerely thank everyone here to join our live streaming, and also share your own 3D printing ideas and also experience with other audiences simultaneously while live stream with us. And if you have any good story and ideas you wanted to share more, you can also contact me to see if you would like to join our live streaming to be our speaker next time. Okay, so
everybody in chat that would like me to review a Geetek printer, multiple colors, make a comment about it. I would love to review one of their multicolor color printers.
Yeah, I will. I also, if you anyone wanted to, like Jerry, want to review our printer, I will check with our team if we need reviews. We'll be in touch with you afterwards.
Thank you, Joanna.
Yeah, that's all for today's live streaming. And okay, we have some appreciations to Jerry, goes to Jerry and everyone here. Hope you enjoy 3D printing.
We went for 2 hours. That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a great live streaming.
Oh, maybe sometime in the future we can do this again. But the main reason that Geetek had me on was to show off this Ghostbuster car. And like I said, the back half of it is printing. It's probably going to take 7 or 8 days to finish the back half. But I showed throughout the screen most of the parts that I've done in resin and in filament. And yeah, I'm going to do another video here in a day or two. I'll get another video out. Probably tomorrow I'll tape it. So maybe in a day or two I can do another video. But it's been awesome. Thank you, everybody in chat. You're great. Thank you for all the comments. And I hope to, keep putting out great content. And thank you very much for having me on, Spring and Geetek. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, thank you, guys. And I will see you tomorrow for the live streaming for multicolor printer purging.
Oh, I have one suggestion. Whenever you include a spatula with a printer, if the spatula is needed, if you don't have a flex plate with the printer, you should have a style like build tack, something like this. The spatulas that come with printers are very thick. The blade, it's almost impossible to get underneath a printer. So if you could come out with a different style that's similar to this, the edge is very thin, maybe you can get something going with build tack and they can include their spatulas, maybe a smaller version in all your printers. That would be really cool. These things are a lifesaver if you don't have a flex sheet. If you have a flex sheet, then this isn't needed.
That's cool. Thank you for your suggestion, Jerry. Okay, so have fun, guys, and have a good night and day, no matter where you are. And see you tomorrow.